Hey everybody, Kane here, and welcome to another video of Art of Conquest. So in this one, we're going to continue talking about war and cover a few specific topics. So, first one of them is who wins and who suffers in a war. Then we're going to talk about who wins and suffers in terms of peace. And of course, how can you avoid these things? Because even avoiding, some people don't tend to understand. So, first things first, who wins in terms of a war? Now, usually in most rounds, the winners are top 5 people, maybe top 10. But right now, in this sort of a state of the game, usually it's the people who tend to have a few tricks up their sleeve, who also know how to PvP, build formations, and all those kinds of things. So it's a couple of people inside of this round that kind of benefit from this. And personally, one of them, or probably the biggest one, is actually me. As silly and probably egoistic as it can sound, I actually benefit the most, even if I don't tend to win. Now, people don't understand these simple facts and they go like, oh, yeah, you were sent to capital, you're weak, you're whatever, whatever. And they miss the most important parts of the game. One of them is resources, right? Like, I cannot emphasize enough how important resources are. Like, our realm is so dry of resources that no person outside of a couple of people who are sort of neutral, they don't have more than 5 million resources on their accounts at a given time. So there are two accounts in this realm, one of it being my own and another being also a bank account that likely hold 50 to 75% resources of this entire realm. So the thing is, I can have access to both of them. So in terms of resources, I am actually winning. Now you have to understand that my alt has 105 million words, something like that. Now, if we go onto the research, so people would understand, because people don't tend to understand everything unless I show it. So if we go down to, say, this particular one level costs 4.7 million. If I would max this, I would probably require 60, maybe 70, maybe 80 million wood. My alt has 100 million. I would almost dry out my entire alt. Like, at one point, our realm did not have any wood whatsoever. Like, do you see how insane sometimes these farmlands can be? Like, it can run out of resources. And the thing is, because most people either, quit the game or, change realm or they didn't like it or stuff like that, essentially a lot of people left and there are, nothing to hit, nothing to take resources from. Because usually, some realms have peace, some realms have war, and a lot of the resources get spread out. So essentially, in a war, I tend to win. Now, the thing about that is, how do you win? Because I am taking resources from multiple people below me, right? Like, they are not able to finish their own researches to the breakthroughs, right? And you need to understand that. Like, if people don't tend to get their breakthroughs, stuff happens. And stuff happens in a sense like this, right? Like this, right here. Stuff tends to happen in a sense like this. Like, people need to spend a lot of time to manage and adjust their accounts to rank high. And I just need to swap a couple of prisons and I'm done. Like, it saves me so much time when I make a pretty good, say, account or farm Lunari, upgrade features and more features over other people. Like, it becomes so easy to play events, it becomes crazy, while other people have to min max everything and still they don't tend to even reach the scores I get. Whereas if I would min max, they wouldn't even be close by far. So these are the two things that you actually tend to win on if you are in a war and you're a high tier player. Now, people would go like, yeah, you're a bully, you're, a dick or whatever. If people watch my videos, I never said I was a peaceful YouTuber. Like, people need to understand I am part of a war or been part of wars in this realm all the time, there are people in this game that can tell you, I was single-handedly fighting entire groups. I was breaking those groups apart, right? Because it was one person beating like 50, 60 people to capital, farming them, all that kind of stuff. Now, I have to let you know that I am the type of a guy that does not rely on other people. Like, for example, there were plenty of people who joined my guild, and I don't ask those people to fight with me simply because I would expect too much of them. And at the same time, like I would ask other people to fight for me or with me. It's best they stay in capital, they don't get farmed, and then they go out whenever it's sort of a peace, quote unquote. That is better for me because it's more fun if you're the only one destroying the entire group. Not only that, it's I guess, like I don't know, I was always doing that myself. For me, it was something more of a fun aspect, I guess, to put a lot of people down who like decided to just trash talk or smack talk or whatever. Like, even people in my own realm, there was a group who we invited, we gave peace for 3 months. Then they spit in my face, backstab me, and all I had to do was just swap color, permacap them for a month, maybe 3 weeks, I don't even know, and they quit the realm. Like, they had the same thing happen in their previous realm in the Pace Italy guild. Like, these people quit the game, I do believe, because their guild went to site, and they remain. Yeah, like, do you see these people? Like, these people quit the game itself, right? Like, they should be inside. Like, this person also quit the game, right? Like, this person should be inside because there is no guild like this in here. So yeah, that is what kind of happens. So wars don't tend to benefit the weaker people. It only benefits the strong people. And prior to 3 months, it was peaceful for a few months. Like, I didn't have to attack people. I had over 200 million resources. I had a ton of that. People were respecting each other in the realm. I couldn't care. And I was competing in events and stuff like that. And now I don't even make videos of some of these events, right? Because I know there are some dicks in this international community, and they're passing information to say these people in terms of my own realm, so they would rank higher. Because I've made a couple of videos a few days back and even prior to that, and people actually passed information to the group that I was fighting. Yeah, it's actually that funny. And they had drastic changes all the time after that video, like a couple of days after that video. It was kind of surprising, and it acted sort of a test as well. So it kind of proves that one of the guys that I kind of removed from community is still watching the videos and also saying I copy his stuff, which is even more hilarious. But yeah, that's kind of funny. So aside from that, how, or rather, let's talk about peace. Now, if we spoke about war benefiting myself, now, does peacefulness benefit me? And the simplest answer is no. Like, even if it would be peace, right? Like, even if I would have emperor, even if I would have titles and all that kind of stuff, peace would not benefit me, right? Like, you don't understand. And the simplest of reasons as to why a peace tends to be that nobody attacks anybody. That means I would not fill my alt with resources. And essentially, I probably will require a lot of resources, few days, weeks, months to come. And that is not good. As well as, if it was peace, people would be catching up on events, getting breakthroughs, Lunari, research, all that kind of stuff does not benefit me. Like, do you see? And also, not even that, more people would come to this realm and stay during peace. Like, peace does not benefit me. Peace does not benefit the top people. And many don't tend to understand this, is that if high core, strongest or highest ranking people tend to make peace in the realm, it does not benefit them, right? So people have this misconception, but you don't, like, they don't benefit from that. Like, they're only being good because they are good. Like, they don't earn anything from it being peaceful. So you have to remember that. And there are plenty of people who are doing the exact same thing, but saying the opposite and pretending like somebody else started the thing or the war. And I know plenty of those people. I spoke to people who participated even on the enemy side, and there are people who even doing it worse than me. So, I mean, I never said I was a good guy, but I kind of have to let you know that I am placing competitiveness a tiny bit above, YouTube. So I'm not going to place things on YouTube that would directly mess me over, like events or other stuff. So be mindful of that, right? So aside from that, how can you avoid wars? So there are people in this realm, for example, that I am friends with, and they are also friends with the other guy or group that I'm attacking. Now, that doesn't mean that the other group will hit this guy, and it doesn't mean that I would hit this guy. Like, I am not asking other people to be in a war on my side, right? Like, I don't benefit dragging other people into the war than losing contact with that person or the other person attacking. I don't benefit from that, right? Like, many people don't tend to understand this is not that type of a war game. A war game is maybe like Rise of Kingdoms. You might benefit from more people in here. Usually a war can be done by just one guy, right? Like, that's as simple as a game can be. So essentially, you are able to get more if you don't drag unnecessary people into it. You have contacts with them, and that is how this sort of thing goes. Like, there are cities in this realm, and pretty much they're like friends of the both of us, right? And I don't really mind that. Like, I'm not a dick that I would say, yo, abandon this dude or his friendship with the dude, or I will capital. I'm not that kind of a guy. Like, it would be stupid. It would be controlling, and it honestly would be retarded to even ask somebody of that. So I'm not gonna ask that. I could ask, like, if it stop from, say, letting a person repair wall or whatever, because that would be directly helping another person destroy me. But aside from that, like, you don't manage other people's friendships and all that kind of nonsense. So I don't do that, and there's people who tend to help both of us, and I don't really care. So aside from that, that is how you can avoid. You either help nobody, literally no side, or you might want to keep peace with both of them, right? And that is how you tend to avoid wars. Now, if you help one side, you are being dragged into war with one side, and you will suffer. Like, you don't understand. That group that I capital, like, they benefited from the other team for a week, 2 weeks, and that's it. And after that, they were permanently in capital. And I mean, I don't know how to say it so people would understand, but people tend to get dragged in wars that they should not be participating on. Like, right, like, they think, oh, that high core people will stop another person from hitting them. No, you're gonna be in the capital all the time. Like, if you join a group and you enter a war, you're gonna stay in the capital until you leave the realm. That is how usually it goes. So yeah, people don't tend to understand that. You either help both or you help none. If you help one side, you're probably gonna be removed from the realm if you are not even close to, one of the strongest people in the realm, right? Like, that is what you will make yourself do, and people don't understand that it's not hard to remove people from a realm. Like, for example, if we would be warring, right, like with, for example, me and still attacking together, if those people that backstab me would still be in the realm, and for example, this guy would say, no, you stop or we continue, I would say, no problem. Either they leave or I capital all of you still. Like, that is how you would treat, these people. Like, again, it doesn't benefit, right? Like, it doesn't benefit having more people in the realm, having some people backstab you after you help them and all that kind of stuff. You remove those people who did that, and then you just play your own game. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, probably some people would think I am a dick after this, but I never said I wasn't. I never said I was a peaceful player as well. And if you would go down to like the very old videos, I was fighting an entire group, even in the goddamn Imperium. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you found it useful, informative, and all that kind of stuff. And of course, yeah, if you wish to support me more than just watching my videos, I have made a Patreon page where you would be able to do just that. In return, I would be able to help you out more individually in terms of events, PvP formations, and stuff like that. As well as I would like to thank all of my patrons for the support. I really, really appreciate it for your subscriptions. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe out there.